Yo guys, what is up? Max in our first Descendant video, and today we're going over the updated list of the best farms for experience, gold, Kuiper, after the most recent nerfs with the Valby run. We did a ton of testing. We've been testing for the past like 4 hours now, just about every farm spot that I've been recommended. I'll be breaking down everything you need to know. Hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. Before we get into the video, there is a bit of a bug going on right now where if you do one of the like special operations at the end of the screen, it will show you the amount of gold that you currently have, not the amount of gold that you actually earned. So I did this and I didn't earn 29 million gold in 10 minutes. It was just showing me how much I actually had on me. So I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're seeing stuff around there of this being like a bazillion gold, that's most likely just reflecting the amount of gold that the person had at the time that they were doing the farm. So just wanted to clear that up real quick before we get into everything. So the very first thing that we need to talk about is when they nerfed the Valby run, defense line Volga strategic outpost, they nerfed all outposts. It's not like they just targeted this one and you can run around a different outpost and get old returns. I tested not only the Valby run, but also a bunch of different outposts. For example, we did Sterile Lands Repository, tested this, which has a very similar loop to the Valby run where you've got ads spawning on the outside. You can just run around. In testing, the repository on multiple tests was giving me around 4.5 million gold an hour. And for example, the Valby farm in testing was giving me around, on multiple tests, around 7 to 7.5 million gold an hour. So the Valby farm is definitely, in my opinion, still one of the best outposts to farm if you want to continue this farm. They nerfed it by about 30 to 40% in terms of its gold and Kuiper drop rates. So it's still a solid gold and Kuiper like farm. It's very chill. You can just do it and kind of sit back, play some music. However, what they really hurt is its experience. This is now pretty terrible experience. It's at least 3 times to 4 times worse, the XP that it used to be. Ranking up weapons and Descendants here is now quite slow, and so that's kind of another reason why I wanted to make this video, is because we've got some better experience farms to recommend for you. But just wanted to clear that up about the strategic outpost so there's no confusion about another outpost being like significantly more broken or busted. They are nerfed across the board. So that is that. All right, so starting the list with experience, the best experience farms are the best experience farms that existed before the Valby run nerf, which are going to be your Fortress Reactors. These are really solid, particularly the Void Fragment Reactor in the Fallen Arc. This is, we're dubbing it the Bunny Cave. You're able to just stand on Bunny. You're looking for at least 2 range mods. Ideally, you're using skill expansion and maximize range, so that you're able to use your Bunny 3 to hit all of the spawns in this cave. In testing, this is yielding about the exact same amount of experience as it was before the patch, which is getting your weapons leveled to 40. You do still level up if you're not playing a bunny here. So if you have bunnies or joining this farm with people that are playing bunny, you will be leveling just as quickly as long as you're like experiencing or like jumping into the farm. You just won't be getting the monomer and inorganic void shard drops if you are not playing a character that doesn't match this electricity. So if you're playing Sharon or you're playing Bunny, you're going to be getting both the monomer and inorganic. This farm takes about 15 seconds, so it's really good for getting these materials. And it is, in testing, the best experience farm, getting you to level 1 through 40 in about 40 minutes, which is fantastic. Note that the Void Fragment next to it that you can do with Viessa is also very similar experience, and you can play Viessa and get the like drops here. So this is Polymer and Organic. You could rotate between these and not only level up very quickly, but basically cover your bases on Organic or Void Shards. So rotating between these is an extremely efficient way to level and also farm. Just note that these are really bad for gold and Kuiper. They drop hardly any gold and hardly any Kuiper. So if you're going to be doing this, you're mainly doing it for the Void Shards and the experience. Next up, we get to talk about best gold and Kuiper farms. Now, one of the things that we tested was the special operations. They just buffed these to have a drop that can give you up to 1 million gold. And so we tested both the Sterile Lands block Kuiper mining and the Hagios neutralized void experiments. They did add void shards to these. The void shard drops are horrible. They are just really not worthwhile. Do not come here for void fragments. I don't recommend it. You could get way more in a few minutes of just doing a reactor, a void fragment. But in terms of testing the gold per hour on these, because that is where the gold was specifically dropped, consuming all of the resources that I was getting on those drops from the Hagios Spec Ops mission, we got 2.9 million gold an hour, and the Kuiper block mining, we got 1.8 million gold an hour. So both of these, in terms of gold per hour, are pretty terrible. Once again, the Valby farm is still around 7 million an hour. So I don't recommend doing special operations for gold currently. So for the best gold and Kuiper farms, they kind of go back to what they were before the Valby run became such a thing. So I retested Abandoned Refinery unit, running this in solo and in groups, and that was giving me anywhere solo, I was getting 8 million gold an hour. In a group, I was getting anywhere from 8.5 to 9 million gold an hour. So that is still a fantastic farm. I did get one run that would give me up to 9.8, but the gold is very inconsistent. It's consistently around 8 million, but it's not consistently up into a 10, for example. The one thing that I really want to stress about these farms is if you are participating in the kills, if you are killing the enemies, you will simply be getting more drops than if you aren't. So for example, if you're running Abandoned Refinery unit and you're running as Glay, for example, and you're not getting to final hit all the enemies because the 3 people you're playing with are bunnies, you're not going to be getting much gold. It's really, you have to be participating in the kills to be really racking up these amount of numbers. And if you're able to do it with less people in a similar amount of time, you'll be getting more drops. The more people that you're playing with, technically, the more chance you have of getting those final hits stolen from you. So if you can do it solo in 30 seconds, Abandoned Refinery unit is still incredible. If you can do it in a group, it's still really good. But just note that if you have 4 people in your group, it's not the best possible. The best possible is technically the least amount of people to do the farm as quickly as possible. The other solid farm is still Anticipated Ambush Point. This is, in my testing, still worse than the Echo Swamp Abandoned Refinery. If you can run Abandoned Refinery in 30 seconds, it is just much better than Sterile Lands. But obviously Sterile Lands is a much easier run, and you can do it pretty quickly on non-built characters. This was giving me about 5 million gold an hour. So in summary, the best gold and Kuiper farm per hour is returning back to Abandoned Refinery unit. The second best gold and Kuiper farm is the Valby run, and the third best gold and Kuiper farm is the Sterile Lands Anticipated Ambush Point. That is our lineup. Guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.